Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you guys follow my channel, you'll notice that in last video I did install the white LEDs in here. Originally they're orange. The new LEDs changed everything over to white. In this video I am going to be adding a pop of color to match my interior by adding these gauge cluster overlays, converting this kind of boring black BMW gauge cluster to more of that Rari life. You know what I'm saying? So I actually picked these up from EuroCustomsPR. Here's a sticker. I don't know if that's backwards. They're not cheap at all. I think they're about 115 bucks for the two of these. It came with a third one because the only difference is the oil temperature. That one goes up to 340, but mine goes up to 300, so I'm going to be using this one. But they're really high quality, really nice. They're pretty thick stickers, so I don't think I have to worry about any issues with them. It came with an install kit, which is just a squeegee and some lightly soaked up water in a little spray bottle. And obviously it came with the stickers. It's, what I've heard, a really easy install, and I'm going to take you guys step by step through the process. The first thing you're going to want to do obviously is get your instrument cluster out of your dashboard. That's really easy. You just got to take these two screws out. They're Tyworkz bits, T10. Once those come out, the instrument cluster will come out of the dashboard towards you. And then there's one harness right here that you just have to unplug. Once that's unplugged, the whole thing comes out, and then you could bring it on your bench or wherever you want to go ahead and continue with this disassembly process. Next, on the back, there's 4 screws. You can see them right there, 2 up top, 2 on the bottom, and they're also T10. Once those screws are out, there's I believe 6 clips surrounding this entire back piece. I have some pry tools that I'm using. It makes the job easier, but you can use honestly like a flathead or a butter knife if you're in that situation, but you can also use your fingernails. It just makes it a lot easier if you have the correct tool. The lens should then slide right off, and you can put that to the side in a safe place, and then you're down to basically where you're going to be doing the rest of the install. Alright, so there's only 2 DIY videos on how to do this, and they both say not to take the needles off. If you guys watched my LED swap video, you guys saw that I did take the needles off, and it's not hard at all to take them off and put them back on. And if you were to do this, if you were to install these with the needles on, it kind of stretches the vinyl a little bit, and then you got to go and use a heat gun and, you know, apply heat, and that kind of restores the memory of the vinyl, and that's just extra steps that aren't really necessary. So honestly, what I find best is to just take the needles off. I'll tell you guys how to put them back on. It's not that hard at all. So basically what you're going to do is take a pry tool or a butter knife or really anything that can sneak up under here and pry these off. They're a little difficult, but they come off, as you can see. Now that the needles are off, you can see that we're working with a less crowded surface, and it's going to make it a lot easier to position these overlays, and it just makes it a whole lot easier in the end. So the next step, what you're going to want to do is take a microfiber cloth, try and obviously get a really clean one, and even though there's not really going to be a bunch of dust on here because it's a sealed unit, there is dust just from taking it apart and, you know, working with it, taking the needles off. You are going to have some dust. If you bought this kit from EuroCustomsPR, they do include this install kit spray. Like I said before, just go ahead and spray some on the end of a rag, just a very little bit, barely any, just enough to attract that dust and any debris on there, and give it a light wipe. This will ensure that you're working with a clean area. Now that your gauges are cleaned, you can go ahead and pick which one you're going to start with. I'm going to go ahead and start with this one. And then you're going to want to spray a little bit on this gauge cluster of this little light soapy water solution. That's it. And then you're going to want to take the one you're going to be using and peel the backing paper off. I would spray your fingers a little bit with this solution, just so it's you know, you're not drying out the adhesive on the back. Go ahead and peel it off. And then you're going to want to spray the back of your overlay as well, very lightly. The reason you're spraying this is so that you can, it lets you move the overlay around very slightly so you can get the perfect fitment. Just want to be very careful, and you want to try and get obviously the best fitment possible. Make sure you're looking at all of the numbers because you don't want it to be off. Looks to me like I got it pretty perfect. So now what you're going to want to do is take your squeegee and get as much water out as possible. Spray your surface a little bit just so that the squeegee's not really scratching. Just go in all directions and make sure you get all air bubbles out, because that's going to give you the best final product in the end, obviously. You can see what we're starting to look like. I think that looks awesome, and I can't wait to see what the other one looks like done as well. For this next one, you're just going to want to repeat the same steps I showed you guys for this one. But first, make sure you get any dust and debris off by a quick spray. You know, just start out fresh. You don't want anything on there that's going to mess up the final product. And then just follow the steps I showed you guys for the other one. And I'll meet you guys when I'm finished. Alright guys, finally done putting that one on. Show you guys a final picture of what it looks like. Everything's looking spot on. The overlays are really accurate, and I'm really happy with the outcome of them. Everything's really crisp and clean, and surprisingly everything lines up really even. So next step is going to be to put your needles back on. All your needles should be pointing at 0 or at like their starting point. So obviously, like, your temperature should be pointing at the starting. Mine happens to be 120. Yours may be 160 depending on like your model. The gas should be 0, your miles per hour or kmh should be 0, and then your RPM should be at 0. There's actually a limit, so it doesn't let the needle go past 0. So what you're going to want to do is put the needle, because you took everything off when it was at 0. Just remember that. So I'm going to go ahead and put my needle at about 500 RPMs, and I'm going to push down slightly. Not all the way, just like 3/4 down. That gives you room to like swivel the needle on its axis. So once you're going to go ahead and, as you can see, it'll go up. You can see it go up nice and easy, but then when I go down, it stops. It won't go past this point. And as you can see, it's at about 400 RPMs. What I'm going to do now is take my finger and push it, and you'll not break it, but you'll kind of break off of the friction, and you'll be able to turn the needle a little bit. You're going to want to be able to get it to 0. As you can see, it's perfectly on 0. And then once you're there, just push down and lock it in. And there you go. We're on 0. We're good. This needle's done. Next, we can move to the next one. And you're just basically going to want to do the same thing. Put this at about 10 miles an hour. Push about 3/4 the way down, as you can see. Then just move it to 0. Kind of inch it. Don't go too far. I'm happy with that. Then go ahead and push it all the way down. There we go, at 0. And then do the same thing for these. I'm gonna go ahead and put this at about an 1/8 tank. The gas gauge, as you can see, about an 1/8 tank right there, not on 0. Push it about 3/4 the way down, and then try and get it as close as you can to 0 as possible. I'm on 0, now I'm gonna go ahead and push all the way down. Now it's locked in. Again, final needle, gonna go ahead and put it at about 1/4 of the way or an 1/8 of the way. Push it 3/4 the way down again and inch it slowly to where you want it to start. Then go ahead and push all the way down. Alright guys, there you have it. Everything's put back together. All the needles are at 0 where they should be. Everything is looking good, flawless, crisp. I got no air bubbles. The final step you're going to want to do is just go ahead with the microfiber cloth and a small spray of a soapy water mixture, and just go ahead and wipe everything off just so you have no dust. You don't want to have a little dust particle in this nice overlay you just put together. And then we can go ahead and throw the lens back on. Super pumped with how this came out. It's a really clean finished product, and I can't wait to see how it looks with my interior. I think it's going to look awesome. It's going to be the perfect final touch to my black and yellow interior, and I think it's going to be really nice to see the white LEDs coming through instead of that ugly, old, outdated looking orange. Alright, we're at my car now, and I went ahead and threw it in. I think it looks awesome. As you can see, it looks really cool with my trim. It looks a little bit darker on camera, like it looks orange, but that's just because it's kind of dark outside. But it looks really close to the yellow on my trim. I'm really happy with how it came out. I would put the key in. Actually, watch, I'll show you. It's kind of dead, so everything's really dim. But as you can see, the white LED instead of the orange, I think it looks a lot better, and it looks really good up against the white. Way better than what the orange would have looked like. If you guys haven't seen my video on how to do the LED swap from orange to whatever really color you want to do, go ahead and check that out. But I'm really happy with how the yellow cluster overlay came out. It looks really cool, and it definitely ties the rest of the interior together. I'll throw my steering wheel on right now so you can see that. That's with the steering wheel on. You can see some more yellow in there. Looks really cool, really happy. I was gonna paint the needles red, but I wasn't sure how that would look with the white LEDs behind it, because it might make it look pink when they glow at night. So I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and do that, but I think it looks really cool. Lots of yellow, lots of black and yellow. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Give me a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think, and don't forget to subscribe, please. I'm trying to get up there. I already hit 100. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I'm really hyped that I surpassed 100. So next stop, 1,000. Like I said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.